Startup Bootcamp AfriTech, which is a Pan-African accelerator program that scouts, skills, and scales early-stage African tech startups, will be visiting Nairobi, Lagos, Accra, Cotonou, and Dakar to meet startups in one-day pitching events. They're looking for the next generation of African startups disrupting industry sectors, including agri-tech, supply chains, fintech, Internet of Things, connectivity, machine learning, data analytics, cybersecurity, clean tech, reg tech. I could go on and on and on. Jocelyn Nyanguse is the storytelling and marketing lead at Startup Bootcamp and joins us now from Johannesburg to discuss further. Jocelyn, thanks so much for joining us. So African startups, they've raised more funds in 2021 than they did from 2015 to 2020, according to data from FBN Quest Merchant Bank here in Nigeria. How much credit do you give to accelerator programs, so all this money African tech firms are raising, startups are raising?
It's an exciting time, but I feel like most of the credit really needs to go to the founders because they are doing most of the work. And founders have been so courageous. They have shown so much tenacity and commitment, even when we are doing the accelerator program. So it's only a little bit of the work, but I feel like a lot of the credit needs to go to the actual founders. And accelerators, what we are there for is just to offer support and complement the work that they're doing.
Excellent stuff. So it's not just about, when we talk about tech startups, it's not just about raising money, right? What other, as you just mentioned, what other benefits do accelerator programs bring to early stage tech startups?
So the key word there is early stage. So a lot of the things that they're doing is not really at par, or it's not Y Combinator worthy. I know everyone talks about Y Combinator a lot. So what we do is that we give support in terms of just accelerating the work you're doing. We provide all the tools you need to build a lean business model to help you scale. As you said, we scout, scale, and scale them. So we are the first entry point for early stage startups that are looking to become high growth.
Great stuff. I was about to mention Y Combinator as you already. So look, those are the global accelerator programs like Y Combinator, as you've mentioned. Pan-African accelerators, like what you provide, do they offer more to startups here on this continent as compared to a Y Combinator?
I feel like what we do is we bridge the gap because we know that a lot of these startups are not competitive when they then get to Y Combinator stage. So while Y Combinator is an invaluable player, we feel that a lot of this support needs to be very contextualized. So what we do is we provide a product. We help startups find their product market fit, and our biggest unique selling proposition is that we help the startups build sustainable business models even without going to Y Combinator. So we partner them with corporates. We have a very big corporate startup collaboration mandate at Startup Bootcamp. So what we do, we help them get contracts with corporates. We help them prove their concepts. And so far, we have an 81% success rate for the startups that join our accelerator program. And we've accelerated about 40 startups.
That's impressive. 81%, that's 8 out of 10. Should governments take a cue, African governments take a cue from what you're looking for in Internet of Things, connectivity, machine learning, etc., and focus some of their development funds to help these startups within their climes?
Absolutely, absolutely. Government support is very important. And it's very interesting that you mentioned the government because there really needs to be a holistic effort when it comes to building up the ecosystem. And so if you look back in the history of Silicon Valley, you'll notice that founders had the support of many players, including the government. And we are happy with the progress that Africa has made so far. Some countries even have what's called startup acts. And we have partnered with the government of Senegal for our ASIC program. So the startups that get into our accelerator get to spend time in Dakar, working with the government. And it's exciting because the Senegalese government is receptive to working with startups to solve all of these inefficiencies that the public sector is facing.
Great stuff. So you mentioned Dakar in Senegal. You're also visiting Nairobi. You're visiting Lagos, Accra, Cotonou. What kind of talent in these African cities has caught your eye?
So we are also visiting Tunis. So I think that's the other country that we're going to be going to. We're going to Tunisia as well. And we are really looking to broaden the spectrum and work with both Francophone and Anglophone startups. And we're looking for African startups that are disrupting industry sectors that include agri-tech and supply chain, fintech, the Internet of Things, connectivity, machine learning, cybersecurity, clean tech, and reg tech. So those are the key areas we are focusing on. And I know there's so many startups in Africa doing these things.
Very encouraging. Okay, so what kind of challenges do these early stage startups face, aside from the obvious one, which is funding?
Well, definitely talent. There's a talent pool when it comes to these startups are not well funded enough to get the best product manager or the best tech developer. So the talent struggle is a very big one. And so I feel that other than that, they also struggle with finding product market fit. So we help them in terms of that. And we even give them proof of concepts. We help them perform proof of concepts on a smaller scale, and that's a very important part of the work that we do. And it still boils down to funding. So if you have money, you can always then get the right talent. So funding is the major one, and everything else goes back to funding.
It's all about the money. Let me ask you about infrastructure. From an infrastructure perspective, our power, energy, electricity, and internet connectivity, are those the biggest, I guess, success factors for tech startups on this continent to thrive?
Yes, I think connectivity is a very big deal. So that's why logistics is one of those sectors that keeps getting so much funding. That's why fintech, that connectivity component is very important to enable the countries across the world to connect, across Africa to connect. And so for me, I feel like even when it comes to internet connectivity, you can't build a tech product without the internet, in my opinion. And the biggest infrastructure gap, I'm going to be a bit controversial. I think the biggest infrastructure gap is people, because you need to actually understand, what do people need? Are their needs met by your tech? So do people even understand the tech you're building? So that's also a very big hurdle we need to cross over in the ecosystem to thrive.
Great stuff. Just about less than a minute to go. Can you quickly give us an outlook for 2022 for the tech space? How do you see things developing?
Things are looking good. I know Y Combinator just announced very exciting changes in their model and fundraising strategy, which is a good thing. So the tide is turning, and Africa will rise above and build more unicorns. I feel like we're going to see a lot more talent choosing African teams, a lot more women taking up the space, a lot more problem solved, which is the most important part, and most of all, a lot more African founders supporting other African founders, like we saw last year with Flutterwave founder GB funding a lot of startups. So that's the exciting part. I feel like that trajectory is just going to go up and up.
Great stuff. Well, we wish you the best of luck. Jocelyn Nyanguse from Johannesburg, talking to us from Johannesburg, storytelling marketing lead at Startup Bootcamp AfriTech. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it, your insight.